The Scramble of Africa was the period of intense European colonization of the continent of Africa that occurred between the 1880s and the start of World War I. During this time, European powers raced to claim territories and establish colonies in Africa, resulting in widespread exploration and oppression of the African people. Britain, France, Germany, Portugal, and Belgium were the most significant powers involved in the scramble for Africa. These powers used various methods to gain control over African territories, including military conquest, treaties, and economic coercion. One of the key factors driving the scramble for Africa was the desire for new markets. European powers sought new sources of raw materials and markets for their manufactured goods, and Africa offered abundant natural resources and a large population. European powers also believed in their superiority over African peoples and used the notion of civilizing and Christianizing Africa as justification for their colonization efforts. The scramble for Africa was not only a race to claim territories, but also a race to impose European systems of governance, laws, and economic systems on African societies. This led to widespread disruption and upheaval, as traditional African cultures and ways of life were suppressed or destroyed. The impact of the scramble for Africa was devastating for the African people. European colonies seized land, natural resources, and labor, spreading poverty and inequality. They also imposed their own systems of governance, laws, and economic systems, disrupting traditional African societies and cultures. The scramble for Africa also led to brutal conflicts and wars as European powers fought over territories and African resistance movements struggled for freedom and self-determination. Despite the struggles and hardships caused by the scramble for Africa, many African nations have achieved independence in the decades since the end of World War II. Today, a diversity of cultures, languages, and people may be found across the rich and dynamic continent of Africa. However, the legacy of the scramble for Africa continues to be felt, as many African nations struggle with the challenges of underdevelopment, poverty, and inequality.